For longer hairstyles, we will need to use different settings, so I want to lead you through that process. I've got the scalp emitter here, and I will go ahead and select it and go to the In Hair menu and choose Create Hair Options. The output will be Paint Effects and NURBS curves. For the U and V count, just to keep things simple, I'll set them to 40 and 40. No passive fill with a little bit of randomization to break up the grid. And then points per hair and length. These are the most important. Let's make the length 10 centimeters and the number of points to 20 so we can have a point every half centimeter. Go ahead and click Create. We get a warning message. Do we really want to create all those curves? Yes, we do. Go ahead and create hair curves. And then before we go any further, we want to just place these nodes into layers so we can keep things organized. I'll go to the outliner and select the PFX hair and add that to the strokes layer. Right click and add the selected objects. The follicles I'll add to the follicles layer, and the output curves to the output curves layer. And then I'll go ahead and select the Paint Effects hair and go into the attribute editor and start making some changes. Control A. In the hair system shape, we'll open this up, and I want to increase the number of hairs a little bit, not massively, but 20 hairs per clump. Subsegments, I want to turn that up so that the hair will be able to bend and move properly. And the clump width, I'm actually going to increase all the way up to a value of 1 centimeter. So these are going to be very large clumps here. Scroll down a little bit, clump width scale. I want to make that just uniform. I don't want these clumps to come to a point. Scrolling down a little bit more, let's go into collisions. And if we enable the solver display, collision thickness, rewind and play back, we can test this to see what those collisions look like. And you can see that the thickness is too great because I've increased the clump width up to 1 centimeter. So basically, we're going to have issues with the collisions here. So I'll rewind, and I'll set the collide width offset down to, let's say, negative 0.9, because we have a clump width of 1, and this will subtract 0.9 from that. So we will essentially end up with a clump that has a radius of 0.1 centimeters. Rewind that and play it back. And now you'll see our clumps are going to behave much better in terms of collisions. Okay, cool. So you can see how small those are now. All right, so scrolling down, we want to play around a little bit with dynamic properties. Open that up. And as always, we need to increase the stretch resistance. Set that to 100. Press the tab key and go and enter 100 into compression and bend resistance, all at 100. Stiffness scale, we don't actually want it to be this stiff. So this is the entire length of a single hair from left to right. And we don't want that much stiffness. So what I want to do is move this point very close over here and give it a value of 0 or nearly 0. So we will have some stiffness right at the root, but then it will immediately just fall off and we'll have no stiffness after that root. Okay, keep scrolling down, and we just want to adjust these forces here. Motion drag I'll set to 0.2 and damping I'll set to 1. And then rewind and play it back. And I can turn off the solver display. See what we get. Okay, not too bad. Actually looks all right. Cool. So once that's settled down, then we can set an initial state for the hair. I can close these windows. With the hair selected, I can go into the In Hair menu and choose Set Start Position from Current. And what this will do is it will cause all of the start curves to assume the shape of the output curves on the current frame. And what that will mean, of course, is that the hair will start having already fallen down. Go ahead and click Set Start Position from Current. It'll take a moment to calculate. And then if I rewind to frame 1, we don't see anything change. So on frame 1, the hair is already fallen down, and it's colliding with the surface here because I've already set the head to be a collision object. Cool, so that is the basic process for setting up a long hair system.